Club are hosting that all-important, long-awaited England versus Croatia match.
To think that we're going to have the cream of England running out at Portman Road, and the whole stadium is dressed fantastically, and it really looks a picture.
Wherever we go is fantastic. It's been, since we've not had Wembley, we've been going to all different grounds. The reception every time is great.
This is by far the biggest policing operation we will have ever run in this force for a football match.
I'm in a no-win situation. If the game goes off very well, then people will clearly say, well, did you get it right? Why did we have all those resources? On the other hand, if it goes wrong, I'll be asked, well, perhaps you should have had more. So I see it as a bit of a no-win situation. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the final command briefing for Operation Garter.
Superintendent Carl Puy begins what's going to be a very long day. He's been preparing for it for months. As nearly 30,000 England fans get ready to watch England play Croatia at the Portman Road Stadium in Ipswich, he's the man in charge of policing the event.
If we do take a few out, they'll ring round each other on their mobiles and the message will get out that we're not going to tolerate any nonsense.
All police leave in Suffolk has been cancelled. Every available officer is being put on duty, and more have been drafted in from Cambridgeshire and the Met.
Get in there! Get in there!
Tonight, Cover Story has unprecedented access to the biggest public order operation in the history of Suffolk Police.
Okay, thanks very much, ladies and gents. Let's go to it.
Carl Puy's strategy for this operation, which has been codenamed Garter, is uncompromising. He's going for high-visibility policing with zero tolerance towards anyone causing trouble.
By putting lots of police officers into the town, you do two things. One of which is that you give reassurance to those who are going about their normal business and not involved in the match at all. But also you're sending out a message to those who are coming to the match that there are lots of police officers here. If you start trouble or you're thinking of starting trouble, there are sufficient officers to be able to deal with it.
Burger van man Graham Dyer isn't preparing for trouble. He's hoping for some brisk trade from hungry fans. It's 8 in the morning and he's already opening up for business.
I've got a freezer full of burgers, so I'll be happy if I sold out tonight. Having England here is good for us as well as the clubs and the town, and it makes a change from your local teams.
In the police canteen, there's a full English breakfast on offer for the first wave of officers to take to the streets. Down at the ground, a Harris Hawk patrols the skies to deter any unwanted pigeons, whilst groundsman Alan Ferguson checks on the condition of the grass.
We've come in this morning and we've measured it, and we're seeing roughly 5 to 7 millimetres of growth overnight from the last cut. We'll do a double cut in the morning, we would do for any game, but then we'll probably hold fire till about 2 o'clock in the afternoon and take a third cut off it. That will just ensure that the pitch will carry the pace that we want for the 90 minutes in the evening.
People from the FA in the stand, is that right?
Carl Puy and police press officer Lisa Wilson make a last-minute check at the ground. With 46 high-definition cameras around the stadium, the police control room here has all angles covered. The risk of violence inside the ground is small. What's more worrying for the police is the issue of public safety. The memory of the Hillsborough Stadium tragedy, in which more than 90 fans were crushed to death when a police crowd control operation went badly wrong, still haunts many a senior officer.
Since Hillsborough, all commanders at major sporting events have had specific training. The overriding thing for me is public safety. Public safety is paramount, and it becomes before anything else.
For the England players, this friendly international against Croatia will be the first game the squad's had since the summer break. For David Beckham and the rest of the team, the English summer heat wave has given the east of England an almost Mediterranean feel.
Yeah, the weather's great. Obviously, I'm used to it now, so it's quite nice being here and the weather being like it is.
Yeah.
Suffolk Police, like the England players, are leaving nothing to chance. Their specialist football intelligence unit has been preparing for this match for months.
This is by far the biggest policing operation we will have ever run in this force for a football match.
With only a handful of Croatian fans expected to turn up in Ipswich, Dave King is more concerned that any violence in the town will take place before the match and involve Ipswich fans and supporters of other English clubs.
My only worry is local rivalries. We know there's a massive rivalry with Norwich, you know, there's a small rivalry with Colchester and Cambridge, all the local ones, where they might perceive Ipswich as a little bit elite, and they might want to spoil their day.
Suffolk Police aren't saying how much Operation Garter is costing. But as the police helicopter watches from the air, on the ground below, the whole town is getting ready to soak up a huge financial windfall as almost 30,000 fans descend upon it. At the Golden Lion, the rooms are being made ready. The hotel's been fully booked for match day for weeks. It's the same story down by the waterfront. In cash terms, the England International is bringing in as much as £5 million for the local economy.
As a hotel, obviously we thrive off the town, and if the town is doing well, then we do well. And I think for the town, then this is yet another important event that they're able to host. Which is good, and obviously on a smaller scale from our point of view, we're delighted to be having people outside of the area coming in, and you know, it gives them the opportunity to see what we're like and also see what our location, the waterfront in Ipswich, is like. So as far as we're concerned, it's really great. It's really great.
While the business community is cashing in on short-term financial gains, Ipswich Council's hoping that publicity generated by the match will bring in new long-term benefits.
Ipswich is a massive growth area at the moment. We're hoping it will continue over the next 5 to 10 years, and we'll turn ourselves into the regional centre for the east of England. I mean, this is going to be on the back page of every single newspaper in the soccer-interested world, plus all the national TV stations.
Carl Pui is only too aware that the eyes of the world will be on Ipswich. He also knows that the police operation he's masterminded will inevitably have its critics.
I think of it as a poison chalice, really. I'm in a no-win situation. If the game goes off very well and the day is a carnival atmosphere, then people will clearly say, well, did you get it right? Why did we have all those resources? On the other hand, if it goes wrong, I'll be asked, well, perhaps you should have had more. So I see it as a bit of a no-win situation.
For Ipswich Town Football Club, getting England to play at Portman Road has been a time-consuming but ultimately rewarding business. While Wembley Stadium is being rebuilt, international games are being played at grounds around the country. Getting England to come to Ipswich hasn't been easy.
There's a lot goes on behind the scenes, and it's been now for a couple of months, ever since the game, well, even before the game was announced. There have been a lot of behind-the-scenes meetings with our security people, the safety people, the catering people, the commercial, the PR, you know, the whole thing, it all, tickets of course. It all has to be planned meticulously, and you know, you only have to sort of be a fly on the wall to see how extraordinarily well done this is. To think that we're going to have the cream of England running out at Portman Road, and the whole stadium is dressed fantastically. It's all in, you know, red and white, and flag of St George and all the England and FA motifs, and it really looks a picture.
For the Croatian squad, there's been no time to take in the sights. Staying at a hotel on the outskirts of the town, they're spending the hours before kick-off preparing themselves mentally for the match. The game is big news in Croatia. It's not every day you get to read about Ipswich in this paper. The day before kick-off, the Croatian squad got the chance to train at Portman Road. The stadium was deserted as the session got underway. The next time they take to the pitch, the ground will be full to capacity, and as a visiting team, the pressure will be on them. Still to come on Cover Story.
Let's go, Portman!
As the minutes tick down to kick-off, we follow the football intelligence officer whose job it is to keep the peace.
Unfortunately, we need to be quite assertive with these people. Unfortunately, we can't lift everyone, arrest everyone because of the cell space. You know, we need to bear that in mind. But we need to pick out the ringleaders.
Plus, it's an early trip home for the fans from Norwich who haven't got tickets. And the town's police station gets ready for visitors.
England v Croatia. As you're probably all aware, this is the largest deployment in the history of the Suffolk Constabulary. I've been doing football since 1978. This is obviously a first for me. It's an entirely...
Superintendent Carl Puy carries out his final match day briefing to some of the 600 officers who've been called to Ipswich as the town hosts the England v Croatia Football International.
Green King stand, it's a relatively new stand. Chris, have you got the laser? The control room, Mr May's got a steady hand, is located there.
The match is just hours away now, and nearly 30,000 England fans are on their way to the Portman Road Stadium. Carl Puy has planned a high-visibility police operation with zero tolerance for anyone who tries to cause trouble. Outside the police station, the cavalry has arrived. 16 horses from the Metropolitan Police stables at Bow in the East End will be doing their bit to keep the peace. Among the horses being tacked up with body armour is 10-year-old Brigadier and his rider, Sergeant Natalie Pugh.
Basically, at the moment, we haven't got the full public order kit on the horse because it's not deemed necessary at this point. But we've just got a nasal guard, which is this brown section here, and an eye visor, which protects the horse's nose, which is a sensitive area, and also his eyes.
According to police training manuals, when it comes to crowd control or public disorder, one horse and rider are worth up to 8 officers on the ground. The horses aren't the only four-legged recruits on duty. Police dog Bracken is one of 9 Alsatians patrolling the town.
They're an all-round policing machine, if you like. This evening he will be here purely in a supportive crowd control role. They are a fairly good deterrent, as you can imagine. He doesn't always look as friendly as he is at the moment. And so, as I say, tonight he'll be here and able to support other officers if they need him.
It's mid-afternoon and the fans are now beginning to arrive in large numbers. Most are here to enjoy the match. But police are worried about a small minority of supporters who might be looking for a fight. This is a critical time. If there's going to be trouble, it's most likely to occur between now and kick-off at 8 o'clock.
I'm gonna fight 'em all. A 7-nation army couldn't hold me back.
PC Dave King is what's known as a spotter. It's his job to identify potential football disorder problems before they happen.
You mind your head?
Right now, he's worried about a group of Ipswich supporters inside this pub. He's called the landlord out to have a chat.
My only worry is that's full to brimming now, isn't it? Right? Yeah. There's no... Are you letting any more people in?
You can stop them. I mean, I can come down off my dinner.
Yeah. The atmosphere is not really...
I know.
It's very boisterous, right? And
for this time of day,
it won't take a lot to change that.
Yeah.
Uniformed police stand outside the pub, and rival Norwich supporters trying to get in are turned away and told to go to another bar.
No, I'm telling you lads, your options are Brannigan's. Because the fact you're from Norwich, that may inflame the situation. We've got all the Ipswich lads, and all I want to do is create a bit of distance. Okay? Is that fair enough?
A small number of fans are wearing badges which PC King considers to be racially offensive.
Boss, do you want to do me a favour?
I'll see someone.
Do you want to take that off?
What's that? Is that hat?
Yeah, do you want to take it off for me?
What was that?
So I want you to take it off.
You can hardly read it.
Boss, as a badge saying no asylum seekers, right?
Yeah.
It's football day, it's England, it's peaceful, right? No, I don't want that.
You know it's peaceful.
Right? I don't...
Say it.
Right. If I find you with on again today, you will be dealt with, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Football office, Dave King.
Carl Puy, who's in charge of the entire police operation, is keeping a close eye on the situation in the town centre.
The problem with this place is, it's okay, it's got all our idiots in, all our risk supporters in, right? The problem being is, it's not really in control in there. And because it's an England game, everyone's singing Ipswich songs. Right?
It's decided to keep the fans inside the bar and then escort them to the ground just before kick-off. Down at Portman Road, business is brisk at the burger van.
We're very busy. I've got all the staff working. We're rushed off our feet at the moment. I'm just hoping it's going to continue throughout the evening. You know, I'm not complaining. This is how we like it. It's better than standing idle.
Back in the town centre, there's an example of what's called proactive policing. Officers spot a supporter who they believe may be planning trouble.
We've been waiting for you to turn up.
What?
You're under arrest.
What for?
To prevent a breach of the peace. You do not have to say anything, but it may have to
Nothing to do with me. Loads of people have put information in saying you've been trying to organise some disorder. Okay? That's not a problem. Listen, I'm just telling you. So our bosses have asked that you be detained to prevent a breach of the peace. Alright?
Let me go.
Just around the corner, and a group of fans from Norwich have attracted the attention of the police. Not all of them have tickets. Those not going to the match are given two choices. Either they're escorted onto a train and returned to Norwich, or they're arrested. They decided to go home. Outside the pub containing Ipswich fans, it's gone strangely quiet.
Basically, they forced the back door. It was an entrance we were aware of, but it had been locked, so they actually forced that door.
News comes through of another incident unfolding a few streets away.
What it is, because some police people are outside and they've stopped some people from gaining entry, then some bottles have been thrown outside towards the pub. Unfortunately, we need to be quite assertive with these people. Unfortunately, we can't lift everyone, arrest everyone because of the cell space. You know, we need to bear that in mind. But we need to pick out the ringleaders.
Drinking on the pavement isn't allowed, and the Metropolitan Mounted Section are on hand to enforce the concept of zero tolerance. It's beginning to get really busy at the stadium now. The turnstiles have opened and thousands of fans are filing in. At the station, British Transport Police officers are on duty to welcome supporters arriving by train. The Suffolk Police helicopter tracks the England coach as it approaches the football ground. The Croatians aren't far behind. The burger van's struggling now to keep up with the queue. As nearly 30,000 fans pack into Portman Road, the focus of the police operation now moves to the ground.
I'm a little bit disappointed with the hooligan element, stroke risk supporters. There is a really small element of people who have come here today, not intent on watching the game. They've been dealt with, they're out of the equation, they're now under our custody, and as far as anyone else can see, Portman Road is quite peaceful, and we look forward to a nice game and a good result.
The fans inside the stadium are the lucky ones. Thousands more are unable to get tickets and must make do with watching the game on TV. The first half gives the police outside the ground the chance to rest. Satellite dishes at Portman Road are sending pictures of the game around the world. At half-time, the score's 1-0 to England, and from a police point of view, all is well. At the burger van, they're taking a long overdue rest.
We've had our moments. There was times when the griddles couldn't keep up with us, but we like to cook it all up as we go, nice and fresh. And like I say, the griddles couldn't keep up with us, and but people are patient. They didn't mind waiting.
Members of the riot squad are waiting patiently, but not for burgers. They're kitting themselves out just in case there's any unrest once the match is over. At the Suffolk Punch pub, the fans following the game on TV are sensing victory. It's been an exciting 90 minutes at Portman Road, and when the final whistle blows, it's a 3-1 win for England.
Ipswich, credit to the club, great pitch, great stadium, great fans, 100% performance.
Brilliant being played at Portman Road. Brilliant stadium, brilliant ground, brilliant town to play in.
With Bobby Robson, he must be very, very proud of what's happening in Ipswich today. And the money that's brought in, we need it badly. You know, I hope we're going to go further on and get back where we belong. We're a good team. In the 60s and 70s, you couldn't beat us.
It doesn't take long for the Portman Road Stadium to empty. For a few brief minutes, the town centre is full of people. The police are out in force around the ground and at the railway station, but there's no sign of trouble. Many town centre pubs have decided to close early. At the burger van, all the lights have gone out. Although the generator's packed up, they're still cooking on gas. On the pitch, the ground staff assess the damage to the grass. In the tunnel, David Bekhams asked about the reception the players have been given in Ipswich.
Yeah, well, we expected it, you know, that's what's nice about travelling around the country, you know, because different sets of fans get to see, you know, these players play, and it's exciting for them, but yeah, of course we have to thank them for the support they give us tonight, and it's nice that we give them a few goals.
Wherever we go is fantastic. It's been, you know, since we've not had Wembley, we've been going to all different grounds, and the reception every time is great.
Back at the police station, Carl Puy and his senior commanders review the operation. There's been a total of 31 arrests.
I think the intelligence was spot on. I think we got it right. I think those we took out were those that needed to be taken out, those with a previous history of football-related offences. So very, very pleased. Any comments? Okay, thanks ever so much for your help. Well done.
The police operation's winding down, but there's one final duty to perform. Dozens of fans are waiting by the car park at Portman Road, hoping to catch a glimpse of their footballing heroes. Police motorcycle outriders have been told to escort the Beckhams out of town. The day Beckham's boys came to Ipswich won't be forgotten in a hurry. The England supporters went away happy. The police operation was viewed by senior officers as a big success. Almost 30,000 fans helped boost the local economy. And Graham the Burger Man has never known a day like it.